Welcome to episode 2 of the Gingerspyce Deep Gnome project. In this episode, I'm going to be doing Elite Fleshmaker's Laboratory, Upper Necropolis. This can be challenging to solo just because of the runes in the end fight, but if you got a wolf or an iron defender, or even a hireling, or if you got abundant step or wings even, it's totally doable. Can still be a little tricky. Alright, so level 16. Actually, I have enough XP to go up to 17, but I haven't taken level yet. I haven't done a video of this one, so that's why I chose it. Been wanting to do one for a long time, but every life I get to it and I'm like, I'll wait till I get back to Druid, because I can use the wolf. So let's take a look at where things are. So I think since the last video I maxed out my spellcraft here. 20 spellcraft for 3 action points. That's so awesome. Okay, and I picked up a couple points. +2 maximum armor dexterity bonus and maximum dodge bonus. I can totally benefit from that. I'm not sure how that would compare if I had the heavy armor. I'm only using the medium, as I explained in the last video. That it's because it's what I had, and I didn't want to spend the extra dragon scales just to get a set of armor that I would use for 5 levels and never use it again. So, but if I was going to be doing a bunch of past lives, I would definitely invest in the heavy again. I haven't spent any more points in the Season's Heraldry, and I probably, well, yeah, because I don't think there's really a whole lot else that I'm going to spend. I'm going to get another point here. I'm going to spend another point here. I do like that I can make up for some of the lost Intimidate by getting the Battle Mage here. So I may do that, but it's going to be a little bit tight with the action points, so we'll see. And, of course, I'm talking about the loss of Intimidate because I'm size category small. That's a -4. And then plus I've lost 4 from the human enhancement tree. I used to be human. And so, I definitely want to make up for some of that Intimidate. When you're doing like Epic Elite ZZ and Legendary Elite, Hound of Zoriat, I think it's like 125 to no fail, and I was only topping out at 112. There's definitely, I could get higher than that with tier 3 green steel, but I'm already cutting it close as it is because I want to be able to intimidate anything in the game. That's the goal, and being Deep Gnome is definitely, instead of human, is definitely making that goal harder to achieve. And so, if I have to shave some points off, I might take it out of Autumnal Susurrus. I might take it out of Negotiator. It's really hard to say. On the equipment side, it's all exactly the same, except I recrafted this to be Ogre Power 6 and Good Luck. I think it was Con 6 and Good Luck before, and that's because now I have this randomly generated Con 7 False Life 27 belt. This is an example of a belt that's better than you can craft. You can only craft up to Con 6, and even like a Con 6 False Life 30 belt, that I believe is level 19 even with Masterful Craftsmanship on it. So random gen, better than Cane Crafted. We're supposed to get a Cane Crafting Pass soon. I was really hoping it would come out before the series because I wanted to be able to use some of that stuff and show it in the series. But I'm sure there'll be another series sometime down the road. I was thinking about maybe doing another True First Life series. I had a blast doing the Favorite Soul one, but that was the absolute wrong class to choose. Thinking about maybe doing my build as a True First Life. Go to another server, no friends, no ship buffs, no plat, and just do the build with nothing and whatever I find, and make a video series out of that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I have so many plans for my characters on this server. I have so many past lives I want to get on Voodoo, for example, that it's limited time. Alright, gonna be using the wolf. Show you what the numbers look like. Let me fully buff up. I didn't talk about the wolf last time, so I want to show you what gear I'm using. I want to buff up here first to show you what my AC, PRR, and all that good stuff looks like. So 95 armor class, I think that's the same as it was last time. 78 PRR, 10% dodge. Got crafted armor on the wolf. This is the spirit craft, the minimum level 16 version, crafted up with Constitution 4, Sapphire of Heavy Fortification in the blue slot, and that Con 4 is the best I could do. Invulnerability is very important too. DR5/magic, although there's probably a lot of stuff overcoming it at this point. In any event, that's the best I could do at this level. Oh, and then got... This is the Vampiric Stone Dust hand wraps converted into a collar. And you can convert any hand wraps, even named hand wraps, into a collar very cheaply at a device workstation, which you can find in House C, down there by the Lava Caves challenges. And you can find one in Evening Star, and then you may also have one in the cargo bay of your ship, depending on if you have that buff loaded up there. Ooh, I want to buff my wolf. I haven't been playing with the wolf. I'm not used to having them out so often. I mean, if it weren't for the death penalty, and that's just been a peeve of mine, pet peeve of mine, you know, ever since Druids came out, that when the wolf dies, you lose a lot of spell points and hit points, and that is just freaking garbage. Garbage. So it's just, it makes it, it's a disincentive to use the wolf. You know, I'd like to have my wolf out for FPQ League content. I hope to do a summoner build, though. I'm only hoping the Druid Pass happens this year. I really hope they amp up the summons. It stands to reason that I mean, the Druid Pass is overdue, and it stands to reason that there will be, you know, more buffs in the Druid trees for summons. It seems like that's the theme. You know, they did it in the Harper tree. They did it in the Warlock tree. They added, you know, improved augment summoning. They added the, you know, the one level 30 feat. I forget what it's called, but that buffs up summon. So it really seems like they're trying to add more in the game that will do that. So I mean, Druids. I mean, clearly, out of any of the classes, that should be the one that has the strongest, you know, animal companion and summons. Immune to poison, thank you. One shot the caster as we approach the group, and the rest will just get chewed down in the aura. Hell yeah. Now if you have a lock picker, or a knocker, or a bell of opening, you don't have to go down this hall and get the key. But I'm not wasting a bell of opening. Let's see what the wolf looks like, though. Let's just see what the wolf's doing. I'm gonna send the wolf in. Send in the hounds. Look at him, turning him to stone with the Vampiric Stone Dust hand wraps. Just tearing it up. I love it. 2 of the 4 mobs he turned to stone, too. Snarl's a beast. I don't even have augment summoning, you know. That's something I put on my build post to take right away, but it's just like a preference for fun. In early levels, it's really nice to have a strong wolf, especially because your casting power is pretty weak for those first, you know, 4 levels or so until you get Call Lightning. And so having a strong wolf is really nice to have. And then I ditched the augment summoning for like heavy armor proficiency, I think at 14 or something like that. I get rid of it, you know, in like the early teen levels, I think. Can we survive the blades? Ooh, that was closer than I thought it was going to be. I'll show you a little trick here. Man, I thought I did a video of this, and I thought I showed this little trick. So, if you don't know, you can just jump up on here. I mean, obviously you can time the blades, but this gives... Again, Snarl died. But this gives you a little bit better of a head start. You can jump right over them from there. So if I were smart, I would have parked Snarl out of the blades. Clearly I am not smart. I'm using a Lit 2 Scimitar. Not a good choice against flesh golems, which are healed by electricity. Don't need to go there.
The air feels hotter and denser as you descend deeper into the laboratory. A heavy locked door stands to the north.
I think I'll go ahead and do the optional 2.
The assembly
I haven't done that in a while.
surgical, woodworking, and metallurgy tools surround this makeshift operating theater. The last apprentice falls before the level.
2 champ chests. Call lightning, take out the caster. We can just shield block and let the aura do its magic. Somebody asked on my build post today, you know, what if, you know, they said there's no dragon scales on the auction house on their server, and, you know, what do you do if you don't have the large? You know, and my recommendation would be to, you know, as I posted there, but it's worth mentioning here too, because a lot of people, you know, they don't have the scales, but, you know, once you get up to about level 15, you can farm Tor. And if you run that 3, maybe 4 times on hard, or, you know, 3 times on, you're going to get, on elite, you know, you're going to get 20 scales total. And, you know, you can take those blacks and whites that you don't want and just spam the trade channels for, you know, say, you know, I have these looking for blues. Like, you're going to find people that are happy to make that trade. Even if they don't need them, like, they're just doing it to be cool. But, you know, a lot of times you're going to find people that want them. Or if you post a group for farming, you know, your scales, then a lot of times there's going to be somebody in your group that wants a different color than you want, and you just trade them right there. So like I said, you do Tor 3 times and do your dragons, like do it on elite, get a full group, get a few people. You can knock that out, a few people, level 15, 16 or so, and you can get enough dragon scales to get your armor. You know, in a couple hours, no problem.
Lightning constantly discharges throughout these planets.
We'll do the firewall and the aura. And we'll just sit here and shield block. Cake. And that's something you can do, you know, if you are a little bit squishier, you know. I mean, I've talked before, I got a lot of path lives, a lot of extra AC, a lot of extra PRR. If you don't have that, you're using leather armor, you know, you're just, it's tough, you know, maybe on a first lifer, it's tough for you to sit there and swing your weapon when you're surrounded by mobs. Shield block, you know, when you're shield blocking, that's giving you, you know, 10 damage reduction. That's 10 damage off the top of every hit. And that's really significant at this level range. Now, normally I would swing my weapon, but as I said, I don't want the lightning to proc on the golems and just heal them and speed them up. Okay, now, got all these irritating air elementals. So I'm going to first bring Snarl up and rebuff him. And then I'm going to bring out a summon, because the summon will run some distraction. If you can get a beholder, great. And this little trinket thingy comes out of the Sane Asylum. That's a relatively common drop, bound to account, so you can move it around. But this is, you know, if you're new and you didn't know where those beholders come from that people summon, it's from that. You only get 3 clickies per rest. I didn't get one. Oh well. If you run a class here that can charm these guys, charming these air elementals is awesome because that way they won't respawn. But if you're killing them, you know, they respawn pretty quickly. It was pretty irritating. Ooh, I did not rest at the shrine. Derp-a-derp. Meant to do that after Edgar. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Have Snarl get that one. While we hit this one. And tell him to hit that one. While we're coming over here. And I hit use instead of trying to cast a spell. And if everything goes well, then that should do it. Oh, missed it. Missed it by casting a spell, my mistake. Okay. Send the Hound back in. Hit this rune. Tell Snarl to hit that rune. And then I get tossed off. See? Remember I said it was irritating? Even when you had the summon or the hireling. It's tight. Good boy, Snarl. Okay, that one. Oh, he's tied up here. Tell him to hit the other one. Well, I come over here and hit use instead of casting a spell. And then I use this one. And then,
As the
boom.
light changes
That
its
time we got it.
form, its true source of power appears.
Just gonna have to run lean here.
The air element
Piece of
slips
cake.
into the breeze,
And that's how you solo
reminding
it.
you is safe.
And get all the runes with your wolf. Now we're gonna go do the optional. Get rid of the snarl though, because there's lots of traps down there. And hey, since I didn't use the shrine, I can use it now. I should have played it off like that's what I meant to do. That would have made me look smarter.
Small alcove proves a welcome place to rest for a moment.
I think I did this optional like during the Deep Gnome series, not as a video, but and it was like the first time I had done it in probably 5 years. Ooh, there's a shrine there. Now you can't talk to him that second time until you finish the quest. To open up this.
A large crystal stone, center of a murky rim. A darkened room.
And we're just gonna fight waves of flesh golems. And if you have a trapper, there's traps that they can disable.
Lightning crackles from the crystal and strikes the flesh golems. They appear invisible.
Little tip for you here. You may know that, when you try to cast Firewall in water, it doesn't want to show up. I'm going to show you, okay? See, I'm going to cast it. Well, I guess it shows up here. Okay, either there's something funny about this particular water, or they changed it. I suspect it's just this particular water happens to work. But, if you are in water and your firewalls aren't going off, what you can do is just make sure that any part of the firewall is on land, even if it's a wall. Just so that the tip of it is over on dry land somewhere, and it will work. As long as the whole thing isn't on the water. So this optional, this was how we used to have to farm for, tome pages and shield pieces. I can't remember what this drops. It's one or the other, but now they drop it in, chests, I think inside the quest, but definitely in the Slayer Zone. This used to be where they came from, all the optionals in the quests out here. Man, I remember when I was a noob coming down here and not having a trapper, and these lighting traps would just like blow me away. It was so hard to even try to stay alive. Even against these these flesh golems, they were so tough back then. I'm a squishy wizard. It's a little overdone with the waves of flesh
The
golems.
last golem
There we go.
falls.
And you get the
The
chest.
habit's forces
And you get a chance to pull a shield or tome page, which I did not get. Well, thanks for watching. If you have questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If you have questions about my build, you can respond on the Video Druid forum post. And if you're on Sarlona, you're welcome to send me a tell.